Happy Friday to you all. I'm here to continue reading our book this morning. I'm getting very, very excited now to see what's going to happen. So, chapter 41. Jeff Sr. clicks his car key to open it, and the vehicle's interior lights come on. In the glow, Iggy and I exchange a look. I'm definitely not about to get into a stranger's car, even if he isn't a complete stranger. I'm not that stupid, and neither, I think, is Iggy. But what can you do other than run back to the pub or to my house? I check out the distance. It's not all that far, really. He wouldn't pursue us into the pub, surely, but I really don't fancy going back in there again. What about Gran? Would we be endangering her? All of these thoughts are going through my mind when Jeff Sr. says, "I am waiting." Iggy gives a tiny shake of his head and a flick of his eyes towards the pub. So, we'll run for it. I've already shifted my weight to my lead foot to start running when from the woods comes a ferocious growling followed by a terrible animal scream. "Go on, Sheba, get it," shouts Jeff Jr. "Sheba," calls Jeff Sr. "Jeff, what's going on?" He moves towards the wood and then turns back to us. "Don't you dare move." There's another bout of snarling and a howl of pain. "The dog's got her," says Iggy, slowly, sounding really sad. From the black woods comes an urgent shout. "Oh my God, Dad, she's dead, quickly." Jeff Sr. runs into the darkness where the light of Jeff Jr.'s torch beam can be seen flickering through the branches. I really don't want to see Helly Ann's body carried out. I give Iggy a nudge and we run to the other side of the car park where we feel safer. Then Iggy stops. "I want to see," he says. "I want to see what they do with her." And so we wait by the little gate that leads up our path, not even bothering to hide. Something has changed with the Jeffs running into the woods and the screams of Helly Ann. Somehow we feel more confident that the Jeffs will not come after us. Besides, I'm only a few metres from my front door. Then we see the torchlight bobbing nearer and two figures emerging from the woods. The fatter figure, Jeff Jr., carries Helly Ann's limp body in his arms. Their car headlights flick on with a little bleep, and Jeff kneels down in front of the lights, obscured by the car, meaning we can't see what he's doing. Examining Helly Ann's body, I guess. I glance across to Iggy. His face is sad. Then he puffs out his cheeks and shakes his head slowly. "Dead alien, Tate. This is going to be huge." I think about the things I saw on YouTube. Alien autopsy, the Roswell incident, Area 51. "Hang on," I say. "Look." Both Jeffs are bending down to pick up the body. They shuffle round out of the headlights toward the back of the car, one Jeff holding the arms, the other the legs. I think we both notice it together. "That's not her," I say. Jeff Sr. lays his end down and opens the hatchback of their car. The shape is obvious in the red glow of the car's tail lights, and we both say it together. "It's the dog!" We're too far away to see clearly, but it looks as though Sheba has suffered a massive gash across her throat and down her chest. "Quit your flaming crying, you wet blanket," barks the older man to his son. "It's just a dog. Honestly, you're worse than your mother." The Jeffs have heave the dead dog into the back of the car. By now our confidence has diminished again, and we have both shrunk back behind a bush by my front gate. Although we can still see what's happening, Jeff Sr. slams the car's hatchback and turns to shout into the forest. "We'll be back, you fiend." Then he looks towards where we were hiding and shouts, "Hey kids, not a word or you'll pay." He goes round to the driver's door and yells at Jeff Jr. "What are you waiting for? Let's go and get the boss. And put that thing away. It's evidence." I hadn't noticed at first, but Jeff Jr. had under his arm a black baton, the one that Helly Ann used to heal Iggy's leg. He tosses it into the car, then they both get in and speed out of the car park, sending flurries of fresh snow clouding off the car roof and spitting up from the rear tyres. I look at Iggy, who has a strange expression on his face. "Who's their boss?" I ask. He shakes his head. "It's not a person," he says in a monotone. "At least, I don't think so." "Eh?" he said. "Let's get the boss. I know. Boss and Company. It's a brand of shotgun." Iggy and I run back to where the car was. There are splatters of Sheba's blood leading from the woodland path, and a small pool of it where they put her down in front of the headlights. I think we both know what will happen next, so we stand and wait into the snow for Helly Ann to emerge from the woods. She doesn't take long. Her face and hands are covered in blood, and there's a long tear in the sailing jacket. She stays in the shadow. "Thank you," she rasps. Then she adds, "Please help me." She's trembling. "I've never killed anything before, but it was going to kill me, and... She kind of buckles at her knees, and I have to hold her up. I stop myself gagging at her smell. I look over at Iggy to try and work out what to do next, and his face is a picture of fear. It's the blood that does it. Suddenly we are aware of Helly Ann's power, and we are scared. At least I am. I follow Iggy's gaze. People are coming out of the pub's side entrance. The press conference has finished. Around us in the car park, the cars go bleep bleep and their amber side lights flash as people unlock them remotely. No one has seen us yet, and we're still in the shadows, but we're pretty exposed. It's the perfect opportunity to get help. No people, hide me, says Hellianne urgently. Her mouth is pulled back, showing her teeth. I look at her for a moment. Her face is terrifying and bloody. She has just killed a vicious dog with those teeth. I don't feel like crossing her. Your house, says Iggy. Come on, quick. No, my Gran's there. As if on cue, I hear Gran's voice from the direction of our house. Ethan, are you there? Behind the pub, I say, pointing. Take her round behind the kitchen. No one will see you there. This, then, is how I end up making friends with the strangest creature I've ever met, and it's all about to get a lot stranger. Chapter 42. This all happens in about 30 minutes from when Iggy and I pushed our bikes up the driveway of the Stargazer, to him wrecking the press conference, to us standing face to face with the blood-soaked alien who, so far as we can tell, has just savaged to death a fierce German shepherd and might do exactly the same to us. I hear Gran's voice again. Ethan, where are you? Coming, I shout. I turn to Iggy and Hellianne. Go around the side of the car park, stay in the shadows. Come to the front door in 5 minutes. I'll meet you there. Iggy looks horrified. You're leaving me alone with this? What if she's got a taste for blood? I'll be next. Don't be concerned, Icky. I'm a vegetarian. I do not eat people or any mules, said Hellianne. Any mules? Iggy repeats. She means animals. Iggy looks at her, then shrugs. My mum would approve. Follow me. He slides into the shadows at the edge of the car park, followed by Hellianne, and I jog back through the snow to the house, where Gran is waiting in the doorway. And suddenly, just like that, I'm back in normal land. Ethan, love, she says as I walk up the pub. What was all that about? Your dad's very upset. Where were you? Oh, great. Even more trouble to be in. Sorry, we were just, having a snowball fight. Gran purses her lips. That Iggy character, she says, and shakes her head. It's him putting all them daft ideas in your head. We stand together in the doorway, and Gran sniffs the air, a puzzled look crossing her face. I look back at her thin, red-cheeked face. Should I try again? Should I go for the you've got to believe me approach? Would it work? Her face softens a bit, and her eyes crinkle at the edges. Come on in, pet, and wipe your shoes. I think you've trodden in something. I'll make some hot chocolate. There's a concert by that Felina lass on Netflix. You know, she did that daft chicken hop song that you and Tam... She stops herself abruptly. I think she's embarrassed, and she retreats into the warmth of the house and doesn't see Iggy coming up the path. Coming, Gran. Where's she gone? I whisper to Iggy. Where is she? Where's Hellianne? She's fine. She's in the pub's toilet. My jaws drop open. She's where? What are you playing at? She was freezing to death. I needed to get her out of the cold, somewhere she wouldn't be seen. It's fine. She locked the door to the cubicle. I call back into the house. I've left my phone in the pub, Gran. Back in a minute. I don't wait for a response. I'm already at the gate. Come on, we've got to get her. The pub's toilets are located off the little entrance lobby, so we don't have to go into the bar. Through the glass window leading to the bar room, I see Dad leaning against a stool, talking to a police officer. Perfect. I'll go in, check on Hellianne, and then bring Dad and the policeman to see her. I know. She said not to tell anyone, but honestly, what choice do I have? This is the only sensible option. Iggy and I both bundle into the loo, which is empty. There are 4 urinals along the wall and a cubicle. Psst, Hellianne, it's us. I say. I look under the cubicle door and see 2 feet in Wellington boots. Open the lock. I hear it go back at the same time as the door to the toilet opens. In a panic, Iggy and I push into the cubicle and slam the door shut behind us as 2 men walk in. We hear them go to the urinals, we hear them unzip their flies, and we hear the trickle of their wee, while the 3 of us huddle together. Then one of the men lets rip with a big fart. Ordinarily, I'm pretty sure Iggy and I would have laughed, but neither of us are in a laughing mood. A moment passes, then the younger man says, Oh my God, was that yours, Dad? Can you smell that? What in God's name have you been eating? We look at each other in horror. The Jeffs. Not me, son. It smelled like that when we came in. It's Hellianne they're smelling. I had noticed it, but I guess I'm getting a bit used to it. Suddenly, Iggy clears his throat with a deep, grown man's growl. The 2 Jeffs leave without saying another word, no doubt thinking that the offending smell came from the occupant of the cubicle. Iggy cracks open the door and looks around. The coast's clear. Clear for what? What are we going to do with her? I've got to get my, I don't say Dad. I don't want to alarm Hellianne. I'll check the lobby. Iggy hurries out to see if the lobby is empty. It's this time, in the time that he's gone, I look at Hellianne, blood-stained, shivering with cold. She's got toilet paper wrapped thickly around her hands and stuffed into her welly tops, to warm them up, I suppose. It's amazing how quickly thoughts can pass through your head. Am I simply going to march into the bar and announce to the policeman, "Here's the alien"? Everyone will look around and see her there. They'll surely have to believe me then. I can trust Dad. I can trust a policeman, surely. Then Hellianne grips my arms, startling me. I turn to look at her strange, ugly face with blood dried into the downy covering of her hair. She sniffs and gives a little shake of her head. "Please," she says. This is unnerving. It's exactly as though she has read my mind, and I immediately feel guilty. But what else can we do? Her eyes are big and pleading, and I try to tell myself again that I've got no choice, and I'm succeeding in convincing myself. I think, when she says, "Do-do-do-do," the chicken hop, I'm amazed to hear the words of a song that Gran mentioned only 5 minutes ago. The song that Tammy and I used to sing to each other. Tammy loves that old song by Felina that is repeated every Christmas in every supermarket. Do-do-do-do, the chicken hop, da-da-da dance, like you can't stop. Do-do-do, the chicken hop this Christmas. It's been in my head since Gran mentioned it. I stare at the creature in front of me, who looks back at me with her sad, slow, blinking eyes. Did she read my mind, or was it just a coincidence? I don't know how long I'm staring at her, probably only a few seconds, but it's long enough to know that I cannot betray Tammy, that I will do anything to get her back, and if that means keeping the secret of this creature for a little longer, then that is what I'm going to have to do. At that moment, the toilet door slams open, and Iggy comes hurtling back in. "They're back," he says. "Get in." We all squeeze again into the little cubicle as the Jeffs come back in and sniff loudly. "You're right, Dad. That's definitely the same smell. That thing's been in here for certain." The handle on the cubicle rattles. Iggy puts the seat light lid down and stands on the toilet, helping Hellianne up too. The door handle rattles again. "Come on out, we know you're in there." Iggy points at my legs and mouths the word, "Pants down," miming pulling down his shorts. "Just do it." So do I do. He turns me around so that I'm facing away from him, and only then do I understand why, as I hear someone crouching down and see the top of a head in the gap at the bottom of the toilet door. Anyone looking at him will have seen a single pair of feet with pants around the ankles. He's pretty smart, is Iggy. "There's someone in there, Dad," whispers Jeff Jr. "Of course there is, Jeffrey. An alien, and we're going to catch it. Do your thing, son." The cubicle shakes as Jeff Jr. kicks at the door, hard, and again. The third kick busts the lock, and the doors burst open. Okay, I'm going to stop there for today, leaving it on a bit of a cliffhanger for you, but I will continue on Monday. Hope you will have a lovely weekend.